Hello, everybody, and welcome back to WebDM Plays The Dark Eye Adventures in Aventuria. Last week, we had a special Tuesday one-shot, which was extremely fun and great, so please do check that out on our YouTube if you missed it. But this week, we are back into the adventure proper with our full gang. We're all back and ready to delve into a sewer dungeon and see what lurks beneath the surface. But before we do start, we'll do our usual, just say hello to everybody and check in, see who they play, and you know, that usual stuff that we do at the start of sessions. So hi, Liam. Good morning.
Ati Maria whānau. Yeah. I just woke up. Kia ora.
I'm not going to push Liam any further. It is far too early in the morning where he is in the world right now. So we'll just move swiftly on to Emma. Hi, Emma.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. It's the afternoon here on Saturday, and I'm happy to be here. I already said that. I always have a minor panic attack when it's my turn to just talk extemporaneously on these things, but I'm Emma, and I'm playing Ortlieb.
Thank you, Emma. Sharang, hello, friend. How are you doing today?
I am very well. I had a very good lunch, and I'm excited to play. And I'm Sharang, and it's very dark today because it's very cloudy, but it is lovely because I like clouds.
Clouds are good. And Jim, hello, Jim. Hi, Jim. How's it going?
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great. Looking forward to getting back into Gorion. And yeah, he's going to be in his element, I think. This all running around business, talking to people, it's not his bag. It's time to see if he can't fight some ghosts.
Hell yeah, because let's not forget, we are going to fight some ghosts today, friends. These sewers are extremely haunted, so I'm looking forward to it. As for me, I am Susie, and I will be your game master this evening. I think I've already done the emergency exits joke, but it's one of my favorites to do, so I'll do it again. Anyway, last time, Gorion and an urchin broke into Magistrate Nadia Qureshi's house, found an extremely creepy study where everything was snake. Everything was snake. In this study, Gorion discovered a strange sort of spell book in which the magics within, upon further inspection, appeared to be dormant, as if the magic had been learnt and then the magic within the pages had dissipated once it had been learnt. And he also found a strange, like, crystal ball in the middle of the room, which, of course, like any good adventurer, he stole, taking it back to the house with the lovely Goosewin, who was introduced to Ortlieb and Tariq. Further inspection and investigation revealed that this ball and this book was something strange and magical and dark in nature. Tariq, being Tariq, placed his bare hand upon the crystal ball to investigate it, in which the crystal visage dissipated into that of a giant snake eye that appeared to look around the room and regard the two of them before vanishing in a puff of smoke within the ball. Ortlieb and Tariq had some interesting conversations. Ortlieb had some interesting conversations with Goosewin, as not long after, a shaking was felt in the house, like an earthquake, but extremely localized earthquake, as upon investigation outside, no one else seemed to be reacting to this. And Ortlieb's caves attached to the property, which he was intending to make cheese in, collapsed, showing a strange sort of sinkhole in the ground that led into what could only be assumed to be the extremely haunted sewers below the city of Faina. Two, on the other hand, was having a great day on the tourney grounds. As part of his duties of an entrant, he had to participate in the opening ceremonies, and he had free reign of the tourney grounds and the events. So I know you had said to me, Liam, that you imagined 2 was just taking in the sights and the sounds of the tourney and getting oiled up and ready for his competition.
Yeah. No, he'd have been loving it. He'd have been scoping what everyone's up to, just enjoying the moment, enjoying life. It's hard life being an adventurer and saving people's asses all the time and joining cults and shit. Sometimes you just got to be a greasy, muscle-bound fucking entertainment for like an entertainer for a day.
And I think amongst the other entrants, you find a great deal of camaraderie. It's not a sort of competition where people are like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to fight you, so I'm going to be a dick. Everyone's here because it's a great entertainment. It's a great honor to be a part of this tournament, and everyone's here to have a good time. So two, I think, would have really good experiences with like chatting with other warriors from all over the continent. Really, they come from everywhere. And you are celebrated and like cheered. Like you go outside and like there's a squadron of kids and adults that are like cheering for their favorites. There's a little dedicated to cheering section that whenever you appear, they're just like, wow, they just lose their shit to see you. However, at one point, as you are about to begin the melee, it is going to be one of these like simulated battlefields where they just throw every freaking entrant out there and you just smash each other until like 10 are left. It's just a huge knockout competition. And everyone's geared up, everyone's ready. There's knights in armor. There's lighter fighters wearing like leather that have maybe like 2 swords. There's it's like gladiators. There's a dude with a trident and a net. We're just imagining like this is the freaking Colosseum. You're all gonna go at it, trying not to kill each other, but accidents happen. But as you are preparing and just about to be let out for your bout, there is an urchin child that approaches and says, Mr. Two.
What do you want, boy?
Well, I'm best friends with Gorion. In fact, I think I might actually be your son now. There was a whole thing where I was his son, but I don't know if that was actually like I am his son now or we were just pretending. But anyway, we went on an adventure to a place with certain artifacts, and there was this weird woman who was named after a goose, I think, and she really wanted Gorion to eat her pie. That she was very insistent on that. But then they've all kind of like disappeared, and well, I think something might have happened to them.
Two's like, oh, like what? What would have happened? Was it the pie? Did they go? What's going on?
Well, I don't know. No, I went back, because you got that little like farmhouse thing, right, where you all think it's a secret base, but I know it's there because I've been following Gorion for ages. I'm not sure if you knew I was following him, but well, there's a big fucking hole in your back garden, and I saw them all stood around it at one point, and then the next time I looked, they were all gone.
Two would sort of take a deep breath and he'd look out to where the melee is about to happen. Two's mana is very important, right? Like he has to show, he has to present. If people are like, yo, we're presenting, he's got to present. So he's sort of like, how much do I give a fuck about these people right now? But I think he'd sort of like, he'd sort of, I guess he'd swear under his breath in his own language, and he'd be like, all right, boy, take me there. Fuck. Like looking around like, fuck.
Yeah.
Really not happy.
And the kid who I think we agreed was called Jeff, his name changes every week. But he looks up at you and says, I'm sorry to drag you away from your fights, Mr. Two, but well, after this is all done, I might know a place where they do fighting. It's not necessarily legal, but it is like really fun.
Two just shakes his head. He's not here to fight for fun. He's fighting for mana, and people need to see that. So he's like, I don't give a fuck about your pit fights, boy. Take me to the fucking hole.
Oh. And so he leads you through town back to Ortlieb's property, and you can see that in not too far from Tariq's sex shed is a strange hole that has appeared in the back of the property. It's like a sinkhole, but you can see as you look down into it, it leads into the sewers.
The haunted sewers.
The extremely haunted sewers.
So not only do I have to ignore my mana, which is a very big disadvantage, I have to also ignore my superstition. If this wasn't a team sport, guys, it would be the wonderful adventures of two, the fucking gladiator today. So I guess he'd say a karakir, which is like a prayer, and then he'd go in. Is the boy coming?
The kid looks at you and says, "Well, look, I'm gonna I'll keep watch."
Yeah, he's whatever. He's fair. He understands where the kid's coming from. And he just wanders down very, I think, gingerly, very carefully.
All right. So the journey down the sinkhole, I mean, there's like a sloped side, and you can see that the soil and stuff is disturbed here. This is clearly how the others got into the sinkhole. But as you head down, it is dark in here, but you know there's light coming in from the outside through the hole. And this is strange. It is a sewer, but it was never built to be a sewer. This is, you can see, built up from ruins of a city that was once here. So the architecture of it doesn't necessarily make complete sense. There is no sort of like defined pipe system. It's just like trenches have kind of developed over time. And turns and corners, and the stone architecture here is not typical of a sewer. It is, this was a building once, and here's a big cornerstone kind of deal. But it is, as you would expect, dark, damp, dank, all the various D adjectives to describe such a horrible, smelly place. And it is, unfortunately, quite moist, as there is, the usual sewerage business water that runs through, as well as Havana being built on top of a swamp. So it's just that kind of low key, just always damp, always humid. It is not pleasant.
So he doesn't wear shoes either.
Oh,
He's barefoot, slopping through it. You guys owe too big, by the way. If he finds you, you owe him big.
So as begins
Welching in the toes and stuff.
Oh God.
So as begins Two's worst day ever, we pan across to the rest of the crew, who are a little ways deeper in the sewer. How are you guys progressing through here? Is there anything in particular that you're doing? Are you doing any sort of methodology, or are you just like, fuck it, we'll just head this way and hope for the best?
Tariq definitely has a pomander, because remember, he's all about smells and scents and things, right? So he probably has his own, and he like refilled it from the whale shop, and he's like sniffing it the whole time because this is like a lot for him. And also he's not like he's not like a scent hunter or something. He's not a tracker. So he's just like, nope, Pomander gonna do this. He's holding in front of his like face the whole time. It's like I'm gonna say it's a little silvery sort of box with holes in it, in which it's like a potpourri in this like box, right? And he's like holding it and like, and he's letting Ortlieb and Garayan mainly, because Garayan's the like warrior person, like lead the way, and he's like,
Ortlieb is looking around for anything interesting, because one thing that Ortlieb has is he has the advantage dwarf's nose, which I think allows him to see secret doors and things.
oh, wow.
Yes, so he's rather observant in unusual places, because that's usually where there's
Secret doors, yeah.
There's
Okay.
yes, there's purchasables, there's goods behind secret doors sometimes.
I wonder what secret sewer doors contain. That's really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what he's going to be sort of, he's going to let Garayan go first in case we run into any trouble. But he's going to be looking around for something interesting.
Yeah, so we have a level of Garayan like leading, of Ortlieb being like observant, and Tarek being like, nope, just concentrating on smelling.
It's pretty dark down here, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
All right, then Ortlieb, you can hold the light.
Okay.
So Garayan has an oily rag, like a chamois, not something with cloth that gross sewer water could get through, but like like an old leather just rag, and because it's like if you have a cloth around your mouth, it's just gonna get soaked in. You gotta be something water repellent, and so he'll lead the way, right? But yeah, somebody with light's gonna need to stand behind him, otherwise he's not gonna be able to see anything. And so just proceed cautiously. If there's like a walkway, any way to get out of the sewers or something, like use that. But like, he's never been down here. Presumably they're making their way to the temple, or underneath the temple of Asinde, which is like a couple of districts over, if I remember. And there's probably something supernatural down here trying to get us, as well as the hauntedness of the place. He's just going to hope that coconut ring that Goswin gave him is enough to protect him from whatever's down here. And fortunately, he's not like afraid of undead or anything like that. So he's going to act like he knows exactly what he's doing and walk down the hall.
Nice. Just fake it till you make it. That's just the adventuring 101.
Right.
So as you sort of creep forward, you can see that, there becomes almost a walkway. This is clearly what was once like a cobblestone street, where just down the middle, as water has flown over the years, it's kind of eroded into like a little trough. So there is higher ground that you can walk upon. It is slippery, as over the years, like horrible moss and stuff has like grown here, but it's not impassable. It is not impossible for you to walk comfortably. But as you're walking, Ortlieb, I would like you to make me a perception check, I believe. Yeah.
Alrighty. I will perceive things.
Please do.
Slightly trained in that. Where's my rotor?
I'm gonna imagine that my potpourri is like orange blossom and like seawater kind of smell, that I'm like happily sniffing away.
I got that without having to use any points whatsoever.
Oh,
I had 5 that I could have spent. So yes, it
nice.
seems like I did pretty well.
Has quality 2, right?
Yes.
Ew. Extremely good, I think. All right. So, as you're walking, Ortlieb, you are familiar with people that may use places like this to hide things that are valuable, whether that's, stolen goods or counterfeit goods or even goods that are smuggled. And as you're walking, you're like, hang on, this seems a fairly clear, fairly easy to pass sort of zone. It's out of the way, not where a lot of folks are going to walk. There has to be something around here. There has to be something. And as you're walking and you're just behind Gorion and Tariq, you're holding the light for Gorion, your eyes catch in the wall like a doorway that has been clearly attempted to be hidden. It is not, it's not super obvious that this is a door. There has been some like camouflage applied to it, but you recognize through the stone that unmistakable sort of shape.
Okay. I'm gonna point it out to everybody. Secret door. I can do more than just make sausages. Look, there's a secret door.
Tarek is he has a curious trait, right? So he's very like excited, like, ooh. And he takes out his staff and like taps against the door.
Okay, so you tap against the door and you can hear that hollow sound of there being like a space behind it. It doesn't open depending on how hard you tap at it, but you get that unmistakable dung dung sound.
Someone's actually cooking something with orange next door. I can actually smell it. Or is it my imagination so strong? So I gesture especially to Jim, can you change your Zoom name? I keep I gesture and I'm like as though I'm not gonna be the one opening it. You're the explorer.
Ryan, open the door.
He is going to if he's gonna, is it locked? Is it stuck? Like determine that first before he's like goes.
So you press on it a little. It budges. It's kind of when a door gets wet and expands in the frame, and it's like gonna move, but you gotta put some heft behind it.
Yeah,
you can feel that.
Okay. Then he's gonna all right, stand back, and gonna give it just a good shoulder push.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna say this is a feat of strength.
Certainly, happy to do it. All right. So feat of strength. That is going to be con strength, and that's points for that. Where am I? Where's my character sheet at? There it is. Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm about to reread Feet of Clay. So are you saying that? Suddenly got me like, whoa.
So I got to bring that 17 down by 3 points. 3 points. And so that gives me a QL of 2.
Nice.
Yeah, 2.
Okay. So, you've knocked out doors tons of times in your life. This is nothing. And so you just, you brace, you give it a good boot and the door swings open. It is dark in here, but it's incredibly dusty. And you get hit by that wave of, whenever you enter a room and that second environment just hits you.
Yeah.
So this room isn't as damp as the sewers then?
No, it's drier.
Okay, cool.
And as you your eyes adjust to the light more, you can see why this has been specially carved out as like a storeroom for smuggled goods. There's all sorts of stuff in here, from something so simple as like a type of grain that is not usually allowed in Havana or grown here, that is maybe being sold at a higher price than usual. There's all sorts of stuff in here. There's like rugs. There's just whatever it is that someone could be smuggling or selling on the black market is here in this room.
Maybe some like valuable like whale oil things, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
like soap.
Right.
But yeah, this appears to be a smuggler's cache, and it appears to have not been disturbed for quite some time, as the stuff that you're seeing is clearly quite old, and there's that layer of dust that has formed on everything too.
So I turned to Ortlieb. I'm like, perhaps like there were smugglers, and then like the hauntings scared them away or something.
Possible. Is there anything of? Is it all just sort of like sundry goods, or is there anything more interesting in here?
I don't know. Let's have a perception and see if we can figure something out.
Yeah, because it'd be funny, like, yeah, we found treasure, 1 ton of whale soap.
Yeah. Gotta get it out
Hey.
of here.
That's treasure to someone.
It was very valuable, but yeah, we can't really do much with it at the moment.
I passed it again with 2 levels of success.
Ooh.
Proceeded.
Okay, so as you're digging around, you've seen smuggled stuff. This looks like normal smuggled stuff, but
Mhm.
part of you in your brain is always like, there has to be something more.
Of
There
course.
has to be.
Why would you haul just a bunch of rugs down here with all the stank? Yeah.
And so as you clear past some of these rugs, as you dig past these sacks of seemingly illicit grain, because I don't know why I decided that grain was illegal in Havana,
Illicit
but
grain.
Oh, you know how like in like right, Liam, you know this, right? In like New Zealand, you can't import agricultural goods easily to like because it might hurt the local agricultural, like if you bring diseases.
Yeah, it's because of you might bring in pests and shit.
Right, it could be something like that, right?
The other
Like
thing
this
is they could be
grain-
creating an artificial shortage. Yeah, there might or stuff like that.
yeah.
Price
Yeah,
fixing.
it could be.
Or like this
yeah.
grain is known to have a specific pest, so you're not allowed in Havana.
There we go.
Mhm.
See, there is a logic to the madness. So as we, do our own fantasy version of Border Force, the TV show, Ortlieb, you discover what appears to be a couple of boxes here that on the outside look like your typical beer boxes, right? They've got like stamped on the side, someone's brewery, just, stout or whatever.
Mhm.
But as you sort of pry off the lid, you can see bottles in here that are definitely not beer bottles. They have a strange shape to them, and the fluid within them is not of a uniform beer color. And you can see, that some of the liquid swirls with strange patterns, like when you get like that gold in sort of vodka and it creates that sort of, that weird swirling when it's disturbed.
Mhm.
You can see that with these bottles.
There's some Goldschlager for sorority girls here. What's going on?
Do you call me?
I do. I do. Tariq, there's something which appears to be of magical importance.
Ooh, and it's in a thing of like beverages, so double the interest for me, right?
Mhm.
So I run over. I'm like, ooh, do I recognize any of these? Ooh, my plug keeps unplugging. Do I recognize any of these patterned fluids?
Okay, I am sure there is a alchemy check that you could do.
Oh God, alchemy, not magical lore, right?
No.
Okay, let's look at my alchemy. Oh my God, where is my alchemy?
Fun thing about alchemical elixirs, it's kind of in the name.
Alchemy, great! I have 0 points. Let's see.
Oh.
Oh, I'm also trained in alchemy if we need me to do that.
Okay, cool. Maybe we're doing it. Yeah, we're both looking at you know
Yeah.
what? You call me, and I just to make sure that it's not like magically trapped or something, and then I like pull a bottle out, and we're both like the cameras, like both of us are like looking at it like from different angles. Yeah. Ow, 3 and 12 succeed. 15. Oh my God, I got it.
Oh,
did?
cool.
Nice, yeah.
Ah,
Just got it with 0 quality levels.
how did you do, Emma?
I failed on my first roll, but then I got a 1 on my second, which is like a critical success, right?
Oh.
And then I don't know what that means for it. If I get a crit, does that do something to augment the fail, or do I just fail?
I think you just failed.
I think,
Okay.
yeah, I think you do.
I just failed.
But what we'll do is because you and Tariq are looking together,
Yeah, we're
we'll
like,
because I am a benevolent god. I just want to put it out there for the
not the
internet.
snake god.
Not Definitely not. Anyway, so as you're looking over these bottles, you come to the conclusion these are definitely alchemical elixirs, magical potions, as would more commonly be said. And you would know that being in Havana, magic here is like, people in Havana are not happy.
Right, there
with-
wasn't a tournament even, right? I was like, is there a magic tournament? They're like, no.
No,
Nope.
there is not. Yeah, so it would make sense to you that these would be hidden here and suggest that someone in the town, at least, is running or had at one point been running this secret alchemical lab and selling these things here, or it had been imported from somewhere else, smuggled in somewhere else.
And Susie, so I'm guessing that for the layperson, alchemy and witchcraft and guild magic are like all the same, right?
For the average townsfolk, like I think it would make sense that they would regard them all as the same thing.
Yeah,
It's not natural things to them, so
Right.
it would be,
So even if I say, but this isn't really magic, they'd be like, yeah, it is. Okay, cool.
Does it do weird stuff? It's magic. It's probably how they would.
But it doesn't involve me breaking into the fortress of your intellect.
Is there anything snake-like about these potions?
There is not.
Okay.
But I would say with Tariq's success,
It's like a bare minimum success, okay?
bare minimum success, this would probably be something that he could note. That one of these, and it looks like a bulbous bottom with a stem with a little handle on the side. The liquid inside is like an amber color. And you can see that's the one that has this like really cool glittery gold effect to it. You would know that this is an antidote. This would it works against most weaker poisons. It's not super strong against it doesn't work against like really intense poisons, but anything naturally you would come across like snake or scorpion venom, this will neutralize and will stop you from being poisoned if you drink this one.
So it's not just a before, it's not like a pre-thing. You can do it either. Or I mean, it's basically if you get poisoned, you can drink it to neutralize it, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a in case of emergency, drink this kind of thing. You can't drink it beforehand to, inoculate yourself against the effects of a poison.
Perfect.
The other one that is next to it is something in a smaller potion, and there's a couple of these actually. There's almost like a little bandolier of these. There are 3 of them in a little belt, which is all coiled up. These are much smaller, about the size, a little bit bigger than a shot glass with a cork in it.
Oh, nice.
And the liquid in this is a very pale minty green.
Ooh.
And you will have seen this, and I reckon this would be actually pretty commonly known amongst everyone, as this is something adventurers see often. This is a healing potion.
Nice.
There are 3 healing
Ooh.
potions.
Perfect. So why don't I hand one to each of the others? I take one and hand one to Ortlieb and hand one to 2. But I tell them I'll keep a hold of the not 2, sorry, to Girayan, sorry. And I'll keep hold of the antidote. Just because. And by the way, they all these items are under Alchemicae in the software. So
Great. And I will say that this that they are level 3 healing potions, quality level 3.
Cool.
So if you drink them, it will be 1d6 plus 2 life points that it will restore.
Perfect.
And then there's one potion in here that you have no idea what it is. But it is in a very strange looking bottle. The shape of it is almost like a really elongated pyramid. And the stopper in it is tightly wound and sealed in wax. Like they've wrapped a ton of string around a cork and then waxed it. So this thing is sealed tight. The liquid in it is very difficult to describe the color of it. It's like it's constantly shifting colors, you know, and it's one of those effects when you look at it with a different source of light, it's a different color.
Oh, it's like blue
Like-
dress or whatever. What was that meme? Is it a
Oh,
blue
God.
dress or a white dress or whatever?
Yeah, it's like pearlescent. So it's constantly, the more you look at it, it looks different colors.
Okay, so I'm gonna write mystery pearlescent potion.
But you have no idea what that potion is.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I have an antidote. Each of you have a healing potion. I have a healing potion, and I have a mystery pearlescent potion.
You can tell I'm the worst player because every time something like this happens, I always am like right this close to saying, like, I drink it. What happens?
I mean, you can.
I'm not going
Smell
to.
like.
Coward.
It's all.
No, I'm kidding.
Do I have anything here that would mean that I would do? I'm not curious. No, I'm a little bit too prudent to drink the wax sealed potion.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna when push comes to shove, I'm just gonna drink it or throw it or do something with it. We'll see.
Okay, so while you're investigating these potions, we're going to cut back to 2. Now, 2, if I remember correctly, you are freaking amazing at tracking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got direction sense, you know, like I know where I'm at all the time, and
Mhm.
I'm good at it. I'm great at it. Mhm.
All right. Well, I would like you to roll me a tracking check to see if you can find any evidence of your friends in the sewer.
You know, even though I rolled atrociously, I'm that fucking good that I think that I still get 1 quality level.
Fuck yeah. Radical. All right. So as you're sort of creeping again, you know, you're taking your time to try and find evidence of your friends here. You are not trying to smell the environment because obviously it's very unpleasant in here. But as you take in a breath, there's an unavoidable hint of potpourri on the air.
Tariq, he's this way. I'm on the way.
Yeah, see, it was useful. It was useful. My orange blossom seawater potpourri.
So you get that hint of citrus in the air, and you know, obviously in your brain you're like, Tariq, he is a heavily perfumed boy and does not do well in smelly zones, so this must be him. And as that clicks into your head, you know, you see a footprint, Ortlieb-sized footprint, in the moss, and it leads you along the same path that they had taken. And you can get up out of the sewerage onto the cobblestones where they are, and before long you can hear the sounds of movement in a room not too far away from you. It is still pretty dark at this point, like it's gotten real dark in here. But you can see as well, like you can see that flicker of dim light on a wall up ahead, and you hear that movement in a room.
You can hear someone say, "Ooh, I wonder what this is."
Okay, or 2 would cautiously approach, like sneakily, because he could be a trap, you know. And he'd approach carefully, and he wouldn't just waltz on in.
Okay, just for shits and giggles, let's have a stealth check. See if you can take them all by surprise.
We might think it's a ghost.
I smashed that. That's 4 quality levels.
Holy shit. Okay, so in this moment, 2 becomes a ghost. His feet make no sound as he walks very quietly and very carefully. It's almost like he times each footstep with the drip of liquid falling that just disguises his steps. And he creeps forward. I imagine he has his staff raised ready just in case.
Entire heart's good to go.
And you, as you sort of make your way up there, you can hear the unmistakable voice of Tariq and Ortlieb discussing the strange potions that they have discovered in a room.
It's like we discuss sausages all the time. Now we're discussing this liquid that we found.
Okay. Because that stealth roll was so good, I'm just imagining I'm one with the darkness and I'm out there somewhere. So you guys would hear a voice and you don't know what direction it's coming from. You just know it's in the dark. And it's like, even in ankle deep shit, I can smell your ass, Tariq.
So I start, right? Because I'm like engrossed in this like potion. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, 2, is that you? Oh my God, do you like my new perfume? I got a new one from the whalebone store. This one's orange blossom scented. He gave me a discount because why would he give me a discount? Because he saw me interact with the Maharani and was like, ooh, you know the Maharani, here's a discount.
So, okay, 2 just appears out of the dark, and he's quite stern. He's trying to keep a very serious face, and he's like, but if I can smell you, the fucking Taniwha can smell you, and we're haunted. You need to buck up, boy, and get rid of that shit, and you need to tanker with the rest of us. Otherwise, you're going to get us all fucking killed down here.
But ghosts can't smell. They have no noses.
How do you know? Do you know?
Oh, that is a good point. I don't think they have noses.
Do they?
Have you broken into a ghost's mind?
That would be really cool, actually. I get really excited about that. I'm like, can you imagine? Like, is the ghost an entire fortress of intellect made corporeal? Like, is that what the construct of a ghost is? If I break it and I start like think like, oh, I get really excited.
Mm-hmm.
Ortlieb hands to a
I had
towel.
a thesis about this. Oh my God.
Two's a bit upset that his efforts to intimidate Tariq didn't work. But,
I like to think it's because he knows he wasn't. It's not that he wasn't intimidating. It's just that it's Tariq, and it just most things.
But Two's here now. He's like,
2 is
Barno.
indeed here now. And I will say, as you are stood here investigating these potions, Ortlieb, you definitely notice there appears to be a trapdoor at your feet.
Ooh.
Shifted aside these boxes.
Oh, there's a trapdoor. Oh. And yeah, Ortlieb gives to a rundown. It's like we're kind of exploring this. We may have unleashed some sort of snake, demon, god, cult god thing, maybe. The only thing I know for sure is that my cheese caves are seriously damaged. But we found some potions, and there's a door here. Gorion, please open the trap door.
Ryan, sorry, you're not an errand boy.
Yeah.
Please? I said please.
What it look like?
It looks like the trapdoor from the Evil Dead, except there's no zombie trying to get out of it.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those old timey, like it's got a ring pull, like
Yeah. All those kind of things. He's gonna look at it. If it's possible to lift it with his foot somehow, his foot somehow, he will. Because I'm not gonna bend down there and do that. That's what he'll do, because he's not even sure we're going the right way. There's a whole other tunnel out there that we could have gone through. Is this even connected to the temple? It's a smuggler's bolt hole. Also, he has I didn't realize this, but he gets 1 level of fear if he's in an enclosed space and confined quarters.
So you're more.
So he's like, I was looking it up. He's uneasy right now, just sort of like, if it was possible for him to not even be in the room, he might not have been. So like, you saw it. I think you should do it.
Okay, I guess I will. You're just so good at it, really.
Yeah. Sorry.
Opening doors. I will attempt to open this trapdoor if there's an obvious way to do it.
So, Grind, you're standing outside the smuggler's room, kind
Yeah,
of?
I think after the initial like this is what's in here, I'll stand out here, and maybe he was like probably looking the other way when two like ghosted by him.
Yeah.
That's just how good too.
He's smoking a cigarette.
Fucking how good he is.
Chain smoking, just
Right.
trying to get over the claustrophobia.
Right.
Because he's barefoot. If he wasn't barefoot, he'd have made all this noise, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
Don't step on a nail.
So, Ortlieb, you bend down, you grab the ring pull. Okay, I can't think of a better way for to describe it. And you pull. It does not appear to move. You are muted.
Does it feel like there's something just keeping it in place?
Yeah, it feels like maybe it's locked or there's something, that's securing it in place. It's not like the door
Okay.
earlier where it had just wood that had swollen.
Okay.
This feels like there is something keeping this closed.
Okay, I'm looking in my.
I have an
impressive
idea,
inventory.
Ortlieb, if you will let me.
Sure, go ahead. I don't have a crowbar in my massive inventory, so.
I haven't done this, I think, since the first episode, but my cantrip is Serpent Hands, where my fingers become long and
Yes.
flexible
Yeah.
and squishy, right?
Oh,
So I haven't done this in a while. Maybe in real life, maybe I have not, like Tariq has not done this in a while because he's all about intellect fortresses, right? So he like squares his shoulders and like, pulls his knuckles and stuff a bit, and then he's like, and then focuses and then shakes his hands. And normally you see fingers shaking and then suddenly they start going like jiggly shaky. And so it looks kind of disturbing as he's doing this.
that's awesome.
and it doesn't cost me an arcane point because it's my cantrip. I'm gonna say it's one of the early things I learned when I was a kid, right? When I was milking cows, one day my fingers went all like and got entangled up in the udder of the cow, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do now?
It's too bad they didn't take that memory from you.
Yep. That's a bad one.
They want to make sure you have your early magic memory. It's part of your training, right?
Oh boy.
And I try and like slip my fingers in around, and feel around and see what I can feel.
Okay. What is the reaction from everyone as Tariq's fingers just suddenly just
Blah, blah, blah.
do that?
Ortlieb just gives him this just. He's going to accept that it's happening, but he's not liking it.
It depends. Is he making the blah, blah, blah
Oh, the
noises?
fingers are totally going like.
Oh,
Black Mages Guild, baby.
there it is. There it is.
I think
I
two's
forgot you could
outside
do
of
that.
Garan at this point. He's just
Yeah. He's doing the
Yeah.
finger thing again.
Ortlieb is like, he knows how to butcher whole animals and stuff. He's seen plenty of disturbing fleshy things before. He's just gonna
Okay.
deal.
So, Tariq, as you plunge your Eldritch Horror fingers into the spaces around the edge of this trapdoor, you don't feel a locking mechanism on the other side. It's strange. It's like this, there's nothing here physically that you can feel that should be holding this trapdoor closed. However, outside, Tu and Gorion, as you are stood there, trying to not think about what is happening in that room at present, and as Gorion is probably on his 12th cigarette of the hour, you hear a low sound that at first sounds just like a little bit of wind moving in the tunnel. It just sounds like, oh, maybe a breeze just got caught in the wind. But soon it turns into what could only be described as a ghostly wail.
No. Is it?
Do we hear that from inside, or are we not aware of that yet?
It would eventually filter through to you, but this is like we're hitting from their POV of hearing this sound.
It's gonna be like, two, stop that. That's not funny.
Two's just straight away. He's just into Karakia mode. He's just reciting incantations under his breath, and calling for all the strengths of all of the ancestors.
You ever fought a ghost before? Like, I don't know how to fight a ghost.
He just looks at you, still he's like
All right.
not okay with
Not
this.
damn it. Gorian's just he's gonna limber himself up, get ready. Who knows what's going on? And yeah, I guess we don't have a fire. Like, we're having to use the light from inside the smuggler's room now.
I imagine I would imagine that one of you at least has a torch, right?
Okay.
Like, as you delved into
I can
here.
hold a torch.
I was holding one before.
All right.
I was not, because I was holding my pomander.
Right. Well, let's say I maybe carried one out when Gorian stepped out. He had something to light his cigarettes with. Also, he's rocking his penalties from night blindness and fear.
Oh God.
He's I'm ready to rock. He's gonna turn and get ready for whatever's coming down the tunnel at him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as you ready up, and as you're trying your best to get yourself ready. Ortlieb and Tariq, by this point you would have heard the commotion outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it is at this point, as I would imagine, that light now begins to diffuse into the tunnel. You can see what appears to be a humanoid shape moving slowly, at head lolled to the side, one arm up, typical ghosty position, that seems to be moving in your direction. And it's making that ghostly, almost like racking sound from its chest, that as it makes its way down the tunnel towards you. And at this point, I feel like we should roll some initiative.
Can we say right before that we perceived it, I told Ortlieb that, I don't feel anything, it's weird. I would have told Ortlieb that if we had time to be like, there's no physical locking mechanism, yeah? And then, what is that? Initiative is just one die, right?
Yep.
And then we add our initiative.
Where's my pen? It's nope.
D6, right? So
there it is.
I nailed that one. I got 22.
Woof.
God, how
wait, initiative is D20? I thought it was D6. My bad.
Oh no,
it's
it is. It's a
D6.
D6. It
Oh,
is a
okay.
D6.
Plus your
I hit the
initiative.
wrong-
Us have a very high.
Yeah.
Initiative.
Oh, okay. So that's
2 is very much the very focused character. There's things he does very well, and otherwise.
Also, you're afraid of this, so you want to deal with it, right? You're like, I'm going to deal with this stupid thing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like in 2's culture, they believe that the ancestors are always around them. Like you don't die and go away. You're always here. So that's someone's fucking ancestor, and the ancestors are sacred, right? So it's like, I don't want to deal with you right now.
all right. So what did you get to?
22.
22. Dang. 22 for 2. Ortlieb.
13.
13. Gorian.
15.
15. And Tariq.
Also 15, but I'm guessing Gorian has a higher dex than me.
So according to my little rules here, if there's a tie, you both roll a d6. Whoever gets higher goes first.
Great.
Got another one.
And I got a 2, so I go first.
Okay, so we're gonna go with nope. Tariq, Garen, then Ortlieb. So it's gonna be 2 at the top of the round, then the ghosty, then Tariq, then Garen, then Ortlieb. So 2, you are up first. This creature is fairly close. And is clearly malevolent, as it has the angry ghost face going on. It is your turn. What would you like to do at the top of the round?
So I imagine two has sort of been standing at the on guard position, which in mode Arco is you holding your staff straight up in front of you. And his staff is carved because it's stylized like an ancestor, so it's got a face with a tongue pointing out. It makes it look a bit like a spear, which is pointing down. And while he's there, the incantations he's been doing is sort of stating who he is, as if being worthy and impeaching this thing to stop. And when it doesn't stop, like he looks genuinely torn, like because we're supposed to, this like evil spirits are a thing, but so are people's, like this person might have good reason to be upset. Generally speaking, if a spirit's upset with you, you're in the wrong in our culture. But it's like, fuck, I'm here now. I don't want this thing to get me. So he's I imagine the best he would do is it's either swing or run away, and if he runs away, someone else is going to get it. So I guess he's and smack this thing and give the spirit a hiding. Is the plan? Yeah. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm swinging at it with my quarter staff, and rolling a 1.
Oh,
That's good. Right, that's a critical in melee. Is it?
Must be equal to or less than your hero's stat in an attack. Yes, so 1 is good. Sorry, my brain just completely forgot that this is a roll low system.
Yeah,
Right.
same.
Because we're gamers, we play too many games in the same week, you guys.
Does this make it a critical success? Is what I'm saying.
It should do, I think, right? A 1 is a crit.
Do I need to confirm it or anything?
No, we don't do confirmations because then we'd be here
Okay.
all day. Cool stuff would never happen.
Cool. Well, I don't know what effect a critical hit does in this system, but does it parry me or dodge me, or do I pass ethereally through it? Or please don't say the latter.
Double check. Critical success. You perform extraordinarily well. The effects of a critical success are up to the GM. Oh. All right.
Cool.
So I am going to say that this attack, being a critical, lands incredibly well. So I would like you to, what is your damage?
It's D6 plus 2.
I will say roll an extra D6 for your damage for this as you crack it good.
Oh, okay, that's 12.
Nice.
Woo! Woo!
Well, he's just sat there and he's just spouted off like his worthiness, like every ancestor he's got. Like, hopefully this will scare it away. This will scare it away. This will scare it away. Fuck it, Bob. Really, that's like putting everything he's got, hoping this one hit does it.
So can you tell us what it looks like when he connects with the ghost? Like, is it is it going through? Like, what happens?
So as you connect, you bring up your staff and you drive everything you have into this hit, hoping that this is enough to drive it away for the time being. There is a surprising connection there. Like you were expecting, to feel some sort of I don't know, maybe, ethereal quality to this thing, as it does appear to be ghostly, but as you connect, there is solid matter there that you have hit.
Nice.
And the thing reels back, and you see as it's closer, this is what looks like a human male, but his skin is dried and desiccated. The lips are drawn back so you can see the teeth, and the eyes are sunken. There's actually one eye missing with just like an eye socket, and the body seems quite thin and emaciated, almost like when you see of like people that have died and they've just become like mummified naturally.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like. Like their body was natural mummification. That's the kind of how it looks.
Cool.
And the clothing on it is all ragged and hanging off.
But all of it's kind of translucenty.
Yes, it has that ethereal sort of look to it.
Interesting. Cool.
Okay, so with that connection, the creature sort of reels back and it lets out another like mournful cry, but it's not, at this point, it doesn't sound sad. It sounds angry, as if this thing is, about to do something stupid, which it is. It is going to retaliate and hit back at you too.
Ooh. Ghost attack.
Ghost attack. Okay. So the creature reels back and uses the momentum to come at you with like a claw. And it's going to bring up its ghostly hand and swipe at you too. So let's see how we do. Oh, yeah, that's going to hit. But you do have an opportunity to dodge or parry should you wish to.
Okay. Try to figure out which I'm better at. It looks like I'm better at parrying, generally speaking. So I'll give that a go.
Mm-hmm.
3. I believe that will do it. Yeah.
Yep, that will do it. So you are already on the defensive. You are already not wanting to be here, not engaging in this. So you're ready for this creature to come back, as well as your training as a warrior, right? All this shit is kicking in, and almost just in reflex, you just parry the blow back from the creature. And it kind of almost looks confused for a second as its attack didn't land, but it still looms, and you still hear this mournful, angry cries from within, which is going to bring us to Tariq.
So I am scared, but I'm also really curious. Also, exactly 2 of my spells can target non-living creatures. Because I'm all about like Fortress of the Intellect, right? But what I'm actually interested, because I'm like, okay, there's a ghost. I can see that 2 is like doing something to it, but I want to say, like, will defeating it even do anything? Like, will it just come back? I'm gonna gaze into its mind, which affects the targets are any intelligent or supernatural creatures. And I'm thinking this counts as that, right?
Yep.
Because everything else says living creature, right? So I can't do more except my fire spell. So I'm actually gonna, while I'm far away, I'm actually gonna try and peel. Like, I'm like, is this made of intellect? Like, is it itself a fort? Like, what is going on with it? Why is it here? Is this, and also at a secondary level, is this related to the snake cult at all? Right? Like, could there be a link here? So I'm gonna gaze into its mind. 14, 15, 12. So, I succeeded and got a 1 on one of the rolls, and I have 5 quality points to spend. Sorry, not quality points, 5 SR, 5 points to spend, but I got a critical, so I think it's really good.
That's so, very good.
Yeah, normally at a level 2, it would be. You can read the target's mind. You can see what he's thinking, but cannot search the memories. The target can notice that something is amiss by making a perception check with penalty QL. That's all about that. Yeah.
Okay. So, because I love trash horror movies, I am imagining this much like the end of the movie Ghost Ship, where you can see what happened to everyone on the ship, and it has that really bad early 2000s new rock as you see what befell the crew of the Ghost Ship. You can see in this montage sequence a young man who is a smuggler. And you can see, like external to him footage as if this was a montage of him smuggling in some goods into the sewers, him and his friends having a drink to celebrate a successful smuggling run. And you see the camera is obscured for a moment as several figures in dark green robes encircle the 2 men that are in here, enjoying the beverages. You can't hear anything as there's like a scuffle, and you see one of the men dead, lying on the ground, a dagger in his chest. You see the blood pooling. You see the young man who is the ghost stood there, fearful, hands up in surrender, as you see him being forced into the trapdoor below the smuggler's room, and you see it closed. You see the people in the robes stood around. They're clearly chanting something, and holding, they're holding magical like totems in their hands. They're chanting something, and the footage cuts down to the man in the trapdoor room, and you see it's a tiny just little almost box that is only just big enough for him to be in it. And you watch him desperately trying to escape, his resignation, and then eventually his last breath. You see this.
That's wild. That's wild. That flash of mind. And I like gasp. And if I have any movement left in this turn, I'm going to run back to the trapdoor.
Okay.
Because I'm going to burn through it and in through the body.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'll try to.
All right. Do you pass on this knowledge to anyone as you do this? Because I will give you that for free if you want to.
Maybe I can yell a short thing, right? Because that was a long story. So I yell, "The cult killed him. He's in the trapdoor," and I rush to the trapdoor.
Okay. All right. So
That was wild, Susan. That was so cool.
We will then move down to Gorion, who is next in the initiative order. And you can see that this ghost is clearly aggressive, is clearly, primed for another attack.
And then we just heard Tariq say that this was a victim of. Okay. So I have a quick question, totally unrelated. How bright would you say this is right now, Susie?
I would say it's low lighting. I mean, Ortlieb is here with his torch, so that's gonna give some light. But like a flame torch is not the same as like a big LED light, right? So there is some light, but there's a lot of heavy shadow in here, and the radius of the light isn't fantastic.
Right. So Garion's at -3 to all of his skills.
Oh my god!
Oh god, Gorion!
That's fine. I created him because I was like, I wanted him to be kind of terrible in a dungeon. This is deliberate on my part. He sees two and Gorion have fought the otherworldly before, right? And I think 2 says he's superstitious, but Gorion's starting to think that that's just his way of saying really likes to fight ghosts. And so he sees him, get this guy, and between that and Tariq, I think that Gorion is going to be more defensive and going to try to like back up to if he needs it and like watch his back. But he just has a piece of iron, he doesn't have what Gorion is assuming is a magic weapon like 2 has. And so he is I'm going to like fight defensively, however that works in Dark Eye, and is just going to try to like split his attention between what's going on with the ghost and what's going on with Tariq, because I don't know that Gorion thinks he can do anything.
That tracks too, because whilst 2's weapon is fundamentally just a carved piece of wood, he treats it like a magic weapon. Carved in the visage of his ancestor. So for him, it's like, this is a sacred thing. It was gifted to me. It was made for me. But it didn't, it is just ultimately
right.
Just a piece of wood.
That's fine. Grant doesn't know any better.
I really like the idea, though, that there is a power in that because this thing is regarded as a sacred spiritual thing, that maybe there is some latent energy there that is manifesting itself. And that's super cool if you believes can, this.
Yeah, that tracks. But yeah, he's rocking 1 level of fear, 2 levels of visibility reduction. He's not wearing his chain armor. He's got the gambeson underneath it, so he's at least he's not encumbered. But he's like at real disadvantage here and doesn't know anything about fighting ghosts.
Nice. So I think in the Dark Eye, you can in effect hold an action.
Okay, yeah, that's
if you
what
want to. If you want to hold like an attack in case this thing comes for you or something like that.
If he gets the better of 2 or something like that, he'll jump in.
I may just be pulling that out of my ass. But let's go with it because it's cool. I mean, it fits
You're
the
the GM.
fiction. So let's go with that.
Okay.
All right. Which will now bring us to Ortlieb.
Yeah, Ortlieb heard what Tariq said and does not want to punch a ghost. So instead, what is this trapdoor made of? If it is made of wood, he's going to punch the trapdoor.
Yeah, it's made of wood. It's
good.
It's not a soft wood like pine. It's a harder wood, like oak or something along those lines. Because it's fantasy, everything's made of oak.
Actually, I think he might just jump on it. That might be the best thing he can do.
I'm here for it.
I'm fighting a ghost and Ortlieb starts jumping on this.
Well, yeah. Well, I've got very well made shoes, and I might just try to kick the trap door in.
Jumps off some of the crates of contraband. Just goes full fucking WWF
Yeah.
Totally could.
That
Totally
tracks
could,
in our
and just-
first fight. You were wrestling and everything, and now you're fucking on top of the cage.
There we go. That was his first profession. We're going with it. Yeah, he has brass knuckles, so he might try to somehow dive punch this thing.
Oh yes! Oh my god! Yes. Okay. So
Bad idea.
it's a terrible idea, but I love it so much.
Heroic.
I'm torn whether or not to do a feat of strength or an attack. I feel like either or could work, and I will allow you to argue me for the one you're best at.
I'm not particularly good at either thing, but let's do an attack
Okay.
because I'm slightly better at that.
All right.
Just because I'm attempting to punch this thing, I think. So. I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So there we go. So I did that.
Yeah, you
And
did. And I think because you got a 1 and it's a crit.
Yeah.
And mainly, storytelling takes precedent for me, at least, over minutia of rules. Ortlieb, you climb up upon some of these crates.
I do.
And you Hardy Boys leg drop your way through this trapdoor. That's an extremely 90s, early 2000s wrestling reference. You're welcome.
Are you into wrestling, Susie? Or is that just
I was a lot as a kid. I, in fact, Hardy Boys leg dropped my cousin through a bed once. But so Ortlieb, you pull off this amazing maneuver, and somewhere a fantasy Vince McMahon is writing up a contract for you. But nonetheless, wood and splinters fly everywhere as you smash through this trapdoor and land on top of a desiccated body.
No.
I'm watching GIFs of Hardy Boys leg drop right now, so I can see what it's like.
It's scary.
They're all on ladders, and then they're jumping off. Wow. Anyway, keep going.
So yeah, you smash through this trapdoor and you have landed on top of this desiccated corpse.
I think Ortlieb was really hoping that perhaps that wasn't what was there, because it's very sad. It's Tariq telling the truth, but he lands on it, and he didn't really think of what he was doing when he did it. He saw an opportunity when he went for it.
Good.
And so I imagine he's face to face with this desiccated corpse. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, kid."
Someone probably snaps under you, right? Like a bone, snaps under you.
There's a crunch, and you're not
Yeah.
sure if it was the wood of the trapdoor or the body, but there was a sound.
Oh.
He's that's all right. He's here to deliver this person from their
Torment.
torments.
So with
yes.
that scene, we will now pan to 2, who is now so if this is a TV show, we'd pan from the desiccated face to the ghost as it's lunging at 2, and is your turn 2.
So being surprised at how well he did it. He's like, well, the ancestors are giving me agency. You're getting fucked up. Sorry, son. And he's He's having another go. And gets a 10, which will do it. So unless he parries or anything, that's 8 points of damage.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what this guy's got.
Ghostly
Is it
parry.
Is it even worth? We'll find out. 2. Ooh. So, the ghost wasn't ready for the first hit. You know, a ghost, typically, you're not ready for someone to hit you. You're a ghost. This time, the ghost is like, all right, fucker, I see you. And as you come at him with your staff, the ghost parries your attack. And you're stuck in this sort of like tete-a-tete with this this creature. It is actually now the ghost's turn. And he is going to come at you. And okay, we're going to do this. Is he parries your staff away and rears back, and he's going to come at you with a ghostly bite. And is going to attempt to bite you.
Ooh.
Can I assist twos in his defense in any way?
Yes. Because we said you held an action, right? So this thing's attacking, so I will let you attack.
Okay, yeah. All right. I will I'll try to get in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I mean, it's still going to complete its attack, but you at least you get to
simultaneously.
Yes, simultaneously.
Ghost bite.
If I wasn't so afraid and in the dark and in a confined space, I would have. But no, I missed.
There's just that moment of fear, I think, that takes Gorion. And he misses that perfect opportunity to swing. If he'd just been a fraction quicker, if he'd have acted, just that second quicker, he would have hit the thing. But it was just one of those close shaves.
We all have one of our bad days.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull a 2s here, right? This thing's holding onto his staff, and there's the distinctive sound of a sword swooshing past his head. And he's like, what the fuck?
It's a very bad day for 2. Okay, so this thing is gonna attempt to bite 2. However, fails to do so. With the confluence of it wrestling with your staff, Gorion swinging a sword, the general tussle and bustle of a combat, its teeth, I think, just like connect near your ear. And even though this thing is ethereal, even though it doesn't really have matter, even though it feels like it does, you hear that clicking of the teeth hit. That unmistakable sound of a jaw with power behind it slamming shut, just next to your ear. However, so that's how we're going to leave that scene. We now go across to Tariq.
Also, can I say I appreciate your turn of phrase, tussle and bustle. That was a great neologism sort of turn of phrase. Love that. Okay, so normally when you see Tariq do magic, he does, his mental stuff, or he's done that one where he turned into the mother-in-law or something, remember? But it's all like very subtle, right? Except this shaky finger thing. You're like, what the hell was that? So now, for the first time, you see him, or I think the first time, he's like scared. There's a ghost. He sees 2 is in trouble. Gorion's terrified. He yells at Oitlieb to get out of the way, like roll over or something. And he looks down, and the memory flood. This is not one of his normal spells. This memory floods of him in this practice room, and there is there's a swinging pit in the pendulum thing, and if he doesn't burn through the rope, it will fall on him, right? That was how they trained him to like in Doctor Strange, she just here, go into the middle of the Himalayas. If you don't get back, you'll die, right? So same thing. And so that memory floods him, and he slaps his hands together and tries to cast the Ignifaxia spell to burn through the corpse of this ghost, to see if that does anything. That's so exciting. Okay. Okay, so my things for Ignifaxia is 14, 15, 14. That's not bad at all. And I'm gonna roll. And I got it, 2, 7, and 13. So I get 3 points. That's just 1 quality level, right?
Yes.
But it's not a creature. If it's a flammable thing, will like catch fire, and like all kinds of extra stuff if they're flammable.
So luckily for you, turns out desiccated human corpses are extremely flammable, which Europeans found out when. Anyway, so horrific colonial history behind us.
Oh, God.
I'm going to say that Ortlieb rolling out of the way is just like a given. You guys are competent enough that I'm not going to be like, well, it wasn't precisely exactly on Ortlieb's turn, so he is immolated to death. You know, that to me is not great. That's not an adventuring company that are, competent. You slam your hands together, fingers splayed, and you can feel the heat of the fire building as you force your fingers close to direct the flames and push forward at the body. It catches, and there's a horrible smell in the air.
Oh
but
no, where's my pomander?
You can see that the body is beginning to burn.
Yeah.
It's not going to immediately just disintegrate into ash.
Right. It wasn't high enough quality level for that. Yeah.
But you can see that the body is catching. A fire is burning. So that will then bring us to Gorion.
Ooh, that was so fun, you guys.
So we smell burning. There's more fire.
Hey, on the plus side, it's getting brighter.
It's getting brighter. Yeah. I can spend a fate point to ignore all those, which I might. Is this thing still here? Yeah.
Yes, for the time being, the ghost is still here.
Still here. All right. So I will spend a fate point then to ignore all of my conditions rolling without penalty. And we'll see how this goes. Well, that would have hit last time. I hit this time. That's an 11 of 15. And assuming it actually hits and there's actually something to connect with.
I will say, because of the beginning immolation of its body, the thing, you can see it's visibly reacting. Like, okay. It seems disjointed, confused almost that something is happening. Okay. So I'm not going to roll for it to parry or dodge or attack because it is in this moment distracted. I will impose like a mechanical advantage on you for that. So that is 4. Did you say 4?
8 with his strength. Yeah.
8 points of damage to the creature. Okay. So you're hitting this with your sword, right? Yeah. Okay, so you can see that this thing is bearing down onto, despite, it has that moment where it hesitates and its head almost shakes. Does that Silent Hill thing where its head moves too fast as it's trying to process what's happening to its body. But you take that moment of its confusion to strike, and you feel that connection. Again, much like 2, you weren't expecting a physical form here, but it connects, and you can see almost like a slash that is opened up in the side of the creature. And you can see ghost bones and ghost intestines in there.
Gones, gintestines.
Gones, gintestines. Yes. All right.
That's what the literature calls them, actually. The Black Mage literature calls them gones and gintestines.
So you don't get them mixed up. Right. All right. So we've held it off at least. Tariq is doing his thing. They're in there. I trust him and Ortlieb. So hopefully this is the only ghost we have to worry about.
Okay. It's now Ortlieb. So Ortlieb, you rolled out of the way. Having cleared the path for Tariq to immolate the body. The body is now slowly burning in front of you. Is there anything else that you would like to do on your turn?
I think if it feels like the ghost outside is on lockdown and Tariq has this under control. I'm curious, Tariq, are your fingers still noodly? Because that would make this extra creepy.
I couldn't have cast the spell if they were noodly, right? Like,
okay.
Like in the Magician's TV show, you need very precise finger movements. So I
That's good. That's good, because that would seem extra hazardous if you're creating flame with noodle fingers.
Yeah, with fingers.
I think Ortlieb is just going to have a slight poignant moment where he feels genuine sadness for this poor fellow, and he will say whatever amounts to a prayer of rest, a sort of mostly secular prayer of rest, because he feels bad that this happened here.
Ooh, Emma, maybe you can throw like some spices into the burning, like a offering of incense or something, you know?
Sure, I've got a big pack. He's got like a nice like smart messenger bag that he has all the time, like crossbody thing.
Nope.
And miraculously stayed on him when he did his flying kick maneuver.
I mean, it was just that good.
Yes.
So yeah, you not Garain, Ortlieb has that quiet moment of respect and rest for this poor soul. Okay, which will bring us back to 2. This poor soul is still trying to bite your face off, but there is still something there's something about it, its expression, its movements that feel weaker, as if, and you can see actually its physical form, the opacity of its skin is sort of fading a little, almost as if it's becoming more translucent.
Okay. Well, 2 does not have time right now to contemplate the misery and tragedy of this whole thing. He's just going to try and stop this thing biting his ear off, Mike Tyson style. So he's going to just try and crack it in the face. Try and take care of him. And he rolled a 20.
Oh,
So he doesn't.
Critical miss? Oh no!
He does not do that at all.
Okay, let me just double check a critical miss.
This is such an exciting fight, you guys. Oh my god, I love the like body immolation.
We've had all the highs and the lows here.
I love the like chattering teeth of this ghost. Ooh.
Yeah, it's spooky. Sorry, it's not Halloween.
Re-air this Halloween next year.
Right. That's not good.
Fuck, I knew my luck was going to run out. All my rolls have been too good.
Something terrible happens as determined by the GM.
Oh no.
Oh. Okay. All right. So I will say, as you attempt to push away the spirit from you, to get in the position for your strike, you push at its body, attempting to feel that that resistance you had felt before with your staff, but because its spirit is sort of fading, you don't get that connection you expect. So it's kind of like, when you pick up a cup when you think it's got more water in it than it does, and you like fucking skyrocket up to the ceiling. You push hard, feel little to no resistance, so your foot slips. And I say that 2 falls prone as he lands not in the sewerage, but on the cobblestones. I'm not going to throw you in the shit. But you slip and you fall onto the ground.
Okay.
So you are like considered a prone at this moment in time.
Okay.
The ghost is going to, I think, continue its assault on 2, almost like its spirit knows that 2 has joined a cult. The very cult that killed him.
Oh.
And we figured this out because we know now. Well, we not figure out. We suspect this because we know it was made by the cult. Kind of interesting though. The cult literally just killed these people to turn into its like guardians. That's like wild. And the ritual to make a ghost is kind of horrific. You have to starve someone to death in a claustrophobic area while like ritualing them. Ugh.
They'll be the ones going around telling people it's haunted too. Right?
Yeah.
It's just some Scooby-Doo horse shit. That's what it is.
I wish Scooby-Doo were this fucked up all the time.
If it weren't for you pesking tradespeople and wandering mercenaries.
It was just pull off the mask. It was the magistrate all along.
And make all the Scooby. Oh no, we need a dog.
Yeah.
We need a dog very badly now.
Welcome. We've been playing Scooby-Doo the entire time. Okay. So the creature is going to attack to an enemy in close combat range may choose to attack a prone character with an attack of opportunity. Okay. Okay, so it's going to try and get to. Sorry, I've got things open in like a gajillion places. With a 12, that is going to not do it with its claws because it's not trying to bite him on the ground. You lucky fucker, by 1 point, the attack misses as the ghost was just a little, its aim is off. It's off its game. The ghost is feeling its earthly form dissipate and misses the attack.
This is why you praise the ancestors. They got you. They got you every time. You just gotta be like, cheerful, and they got you. That's what it comes down to.
No.
All right. So the ghost swipes down at 2, but just misses by a hair, which is going to bring us to Tariq.
So I'm in this like hyper what's it called, adrenaline moment right now. So like, yeah. So I whip out my staff much more elegantly than normally because I'm not like physically that good. And as I whip it, I like run my fingers along it in the enchanted like motion that I need to do. And it's a 5-foot long staff, right? It's like 60 inches or something, right? So I like flip it over, and as I do this, you just saw honestly, we just saw my fingers go blah blah blah. Now the staff goes blah 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 as the staff turns into a rope. That's my staff enchantment, right? And I go. And I leave it down, and I can. The staff can tie knots automatically if I choose it to, unless the person is unwilling. And I'm guessing Ortlieb is willing. As I try and like lasso around Ortlieb to try and like help Ortlieb climb up this pit thing.
Okay.
And like I'm not gonna yank you up because I'm definitely not strong enough to
That
do
would
that.
not be useful.
Yeah, that would be you're a heavy dude, and I'm not very strong physically. I cultivate my muscles for looks, not for strength, right? But I'm trying to do this to like give you an advantage for when you're climbing out of this thing, because like I know that the choking smoke of a dead body, even with like cardamom in it, is like not healthy to like breathe in, right?
It's the best out of context sentence I think we've ever had in this show.
And my rope is immune to fire that is not dragon breath or something. It cannot be destroyed easily, my stuff. So it should be safe.
Acting more like a counterweight than an actual physical force to pull Ortlieb out of the pit. Tariq, you can easily do that. You've done this this spell many times with your staff.
Yeah.
It's not too difficult to do that. There's no environmental issues beyond the burning corpse that would prove to be difficult.
But the burning corpse make me happy. I'm like, yeah, we'll release this person, because like remember, like people think of my magic as unethical and bad, right? I don't. What I think unethical is like starving someone to death and then using his spirit in the sewers, right? So I'm like happy I'm releasing this thing. Right? So
yeah, there's a strange sort of mood happening in the sewer today as this happens, but nonetheless, Ortlieb, what I will say is for your check to get out of the pit, I'll give you advantage. You roll twice.
Okay.
Take the best results.
That is good because
that's the quickest and easiest way to resolve that.
I am not trained at climbing out of the pit.
It is not quite your turn just yet, but when it is, we'll do that. Okay. I'm just mentally, so I don't forget.
I'll remember because I need all the help I can get.
Thank you. Because things disappear into the ADHD void of my brain. But yes, it is Gorian's turn next.
All right. So 2's on the ground. This thing's all over him. I can't have any of that. He's just going to do his best to drive this ghost thing away from 2. Like, not even necessarily try to like hurt it, but just get it to back up and give us some breathing room. He's probably going to use both the torch that's in his hand and the sword just to swing and get it to back up. So yeah, I don't know what, like, I can't see if there's any like combat maneuver that would be like that, but he certainly doesn't have. He's more about hurting things, so this is not quite his forte. But let's see what the dice say. Go.
Come on, dice.
There we go. Yes, even without spending a fate point to improve the conditions, he got that. He got
Hell
it.
yeah. Get in there, Garayan. Okay, let's have that damage from him.
All right. That's gonna be 9.
9. All right. Okay. You can see now as you are quite handily attacking this thing, you've hit it, before, that it's starting to lose its tether. Like this spiritual force is starting to dissipate. And as you slash through it with your sword, it doesn't reform, into this body. It just sort of keeps, you see the slash and the edges of its body just kind of reacting, the wibbling of a spirit that's been cleaved into. It's not reassembling itself. It's falling apart almost, becoming more and more translucent as time passes.
This poor, like, he doesn't know anything about the body yet. I was going to say, out of game, I'm wondering if this is one of the urchins that that the street kids told me they were killing. We'll
All right. So Ortlieb, it is now your turn. Let's get you out of this pit.
All right. D20.
Usually I'm in favor of opening up a pit, but here we are closing up a pit.
Oh, so that second one, I believe, I passed.
Hell yeah.
I did. Did I? Yes, I did. Yeah. All right. So yeah, with that advantage, thank you so much, Tariq. I managed to kind of get out of the pit in the same way that if I were trying to climb out of a pit, I imagine it's just sort of like a flop and roll.
It's not graceful,
That's-
but it gets the job done. And Tariq is there mainly to support as much body weight as possible rather than like pull you out. So you're not having to worry about pulling your weight up and out of the pit as much. You can just, you get a good little foothold and up and out you go.
Yeah.
But yes.
And just to make it interesting, the rope feels vaguely scaly and strange. It doesn't feel like fiber. Just, to make it more fun for you to climb out.
Or at least makes a mental note to get a snakeskin belt when this is all done.
Well, who knows? By the end of this, you might end up with a lot of snakeskin. But yes, Ortlieb is out of the pit. And I'm going to say that there has been quite a significant amount of body burnage at this point. And
body burnage.
I couldn't think of a better way to phrase it. And two, as it comes around to you and you are down on the ground, you look up at the creature, you can see that the ghost is almost completely gone by this point. The only thing that lingers for a second is that face. And instead of the anger and rage that was in there now, it's, there's a sadness, but also like a relief you can see on the ghost's face, as it is basically almost completely invisible. And I would probably consider at this point the combat is over. Like this creature is not capable of attacking from what you can tell.
Okay.
Well, in that case, 2 would sort of stand up, and while it's fading away, he'd do like a karakia of passage, like look, you're done, go away. Sorry for giving you a hiding. You shouldn't have attacked me. Later, yo.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't want to do this. You made me do it. Sorry.
This hurts me more than it hurts you because you're dead.
Yeah. What we learned today? That's right. Now go on, piss off.
So yeah, there is, as that spirit fades, there is a silence again once more that sort of falls over everything beyond the background dripping of the thing, the water, the slight crackling of a body burning in the background. But things have resumed to quiet.
So I'm like everyone. I tell everyone the thing I actually saw, like in detail, and I'm like, it seemed like the cult created this thing, and I shudder. You don't see me shudder very often. Like I don't get ewed out a lot because I'm a black mage, but I shudder, and I'm like, I hear people. I people always think I'm like jolly, but I hear what people say when I walk into a room, right? People like I'm not deaf, right? And I think it's and like, but that's nothing as to what these people are doing. Like they think my magic is dark. Like what the hell? And you can see like I'm getting like kind of like emotional about this because there are rules that govern black mages, right? Like we're not allowed to have weapons, we're not allowed to do all these things, right? And like these people are just like cold blood, like agonizingly killing all these people and turning them into undead. I'm like very upset about this whole situation. And I saw it happen, right? Not only do I know about it, I saw it happen. So I'm like, I'm gonna like hold on to Gorion for like comfort, kind of, right? Like my friend, I'm gonna be like, ugh.
He tries to be brave.
Oh, Gorion.
So he's like hearing all this. Yeah, Jeff mentioned all the like pickpockets and like the street folk. They're really afraid of the cult. Like that's one of the reasons why they're helping, because they want us to get back at them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I don't know. He's just gonna let that hang. He has no idea who this person was, like what they're doing. But if they got like, they're killing people and like their ghosts are guarding it, like that's.
It's a nice group too, isn't it?
That's way.
Hey man, hey, I mean, we're taking a black mage's word for this horrible shit that they've done. All right. What's the known quantity here? What's the known quantity? All right.
He's never lied to us.
How do we know?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. We'll read his mind. Oh, that's right. No, we can't. That's his thing.
We got it, this thing. Yes, that was the best line of today. We'll read his mind. Oh no, we can't. That's his thing.
The GM smiles as the party tears themselves apart.
Look, anyway, Two's joining the cult was just it was a necessary evil. I'm not rolling with them. I ain't killed nobody recently, and especially not for the reasons that they have. He was already dead.
He was.
Matter of fact, the only things I have killed in this entire actual play have already been dead.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bit of truth to what Jim's saying about Gorion things. Yeah,
because like you wrestled the ogre, like forced the ogre to surrender. Yeah.
Yeah, and the goblins like ran away, right?
Goblins ran away. Two's a hell of a ghost fighter.
Yeah.
There's a quick thing. So first, as Gorion reminds us about the urchins, I look around at the goods and I'm like, I mean, they could use this stuff, right? And like all the expensive stuff, these already belong to smugglers. We can give them to them. And then second question for Susie, where's the princess?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Faria was supposed to be with you, wasn't she?
Yeah, maybe she's getting into her armor or something. I don't know.
Oh shoot. Okay, so here we go. She, as this sort of the dust sort of settles, you hear a voice going, "There you are! Oh my goodness! I took a wrong turn, and I was walking for so long before I realized you weren't behind me."
Welcome back.
We didn't realize because we got distracted by treasure.
Yeah.
Treasure?
Oh, I don't say that out loud. I'm just saying
She was
that.
so lost without having an existential crisis, like she wasn't even here. Wasn't a part of any of it.
These are twisting maze-like catacombs, clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I am impenetrable, honestly. It's a miracle I even found you.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually recount what happened with the ghost and what the cult was doing, because she might know more about this, right?
Mm-hmm. And she, as you mentioned that, you can see that she looks visibly upset by what you're telling her that they did, and she says, "Well, and that was never any responsibilities of mine, but I had heard that they were capable of such things."
Shudder again.
There was a
shudder
warning,
as
you
I'm
know,
holding the Ryan.
that those that displeased them or, you know, betrayed them would end up forever working for them in a different capacity, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just disturbed. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like totally, really not happy at all with that.
Sure, that could have been her fate. At some okay. Well,
Where do we go from here?
well, we must be on the right path, because if it's guarding something, they put it here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should just keep going into the
That's a
dark,
good point.
cramped tunnels.
Yes.
Also, so we're trying to get to where two-headers sign up. I'm assuming. I don't know what you guys were doing down here. I just followed you. So, what's your goal? What are you trying to do?
So, all right. So it's just to fill him in and out everything. There's a crystal, the thing. We went to the all that. So my thought was like, if they're coming after us, the best thing to do is go after them.
Okay.
Instead of waiting around.
So we're trying to get to the cult hideout as the plan. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
there's no plan.
Yeah, we don't really
There's
have.
no
We don't
plan.
really, like, the dragon snake thing might be there. We don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Two's thinking is he's got direction sense, so he knows roughly what direction to go. Roughly, it's not like he has like a GPS doing on top of it, but he knows what direction to go. And we also know that people do use the tunnels around there because Two himself has used the tunnels. So I guess Two's suggestion would be, look, let's just go in the direction I think we should be going in, and we'll keep an eye out for signs of life as we do. And if we find, you know, signs of people, you know, ingress, egress, that sort of thing, then we'll follow that as a suggestion.
That sounds great.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because, you know, you had briefly been in these tunnels at one point after you'd signed up with the Barnacle illegal fighter known as Little Jimmy.
Who's probably upstairs in the fucking melee. He ain't down here.
No, he's having a great time.
Just standing on a pile of bodies in front of a crowd, all like, yes! Could have been fucking, you smelly motherfuckers.
Could have been me.
Fought a ghost though, you know, like that's got to count for something.
And the only person who seen me fight the ghost was you shitting your pants the whole fucking time. That ain't done nothing for my mother.
To be fair, this will make. Remember, I'm doing my 2-year like walkabout, not walkabout, like whatever it's called, like a thing, because it's about research, right? First-hand research, right? This is great first-hand research. I broke into the fortress of intellect of a ghost. Like, that's like insane. I'm gonna write so many papers about this.
It's gonna be great. Also, it smells like shit down here anyway, so you can't prove anything too. And we should just keep going. Ryan's gonna lead the way. Or rather, lead the way is a little bit misleading. He's gonna keep walking in a direction.
Or at least we'll hold his hand reassuringly.
Aww. I wanna hold your.
Yeah, whichever way we were going, I'm assuming is a right way. Until
Oh, I can
we find out
inspire
otherwise.
confidence. I need to look up what that means. Maybe
Oh,
I
really?
can make you less scared of what's going on.
You might be able to actually take away the level of fear.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to.
Could it be
Fine.
sausage-based confidence?
Right? You hear have a
Such face. That's the best phrase ever.
That's my kielbasa of confidence.
right.
Yes, yes. Take a bite of this sausage. Feel this.
Oh, did you have
There
to
you
say it like that?
Uh-huh. Yes, she did.
Anyway,
Yep.
before this devolves any further, you all, on that note, having slayed a ghost together, the family that slays a ghost together stays together despite their disagreements and little arguments about who shat whose pants. You walk further into the dark of the sewers, and that is where we are going to leave our episode for today. Thank you all once again for tuning in and watching us play The Dark Eye. It has been a great session. We had some combat, which is the first combat we've done in a while. So I hope you all enjoyed that. But before we say goodnight properly, we'll all go around and say who we are and where you can find us on the internet, the kind of stuff that we do. And then we will see you all next time. But Emma, nope, not Emma. That's not my first person on my side. It's Liam. Hi, Liam.
Kia ora. Yeah, I had great fun. I enjoy this because I get to come and lecture at you people about how dope Māori culture is and pretend it's a fictional culture, so you have to respect it. So, so it's cool. I enjoy this stuff. As for where you can find me, I'm in a podcast called Mud and Blood. Which is what most people sort of generally associate me with, but also you can go to toatabletop.com, where I have a few bits and pieces there as well, or you can find me on Twitter at _Bergenova_, where I'm either shit talking the New Zealand government, shit talking the RPG scene, occasionally trying to be entertaining. So yeah, maybe you don't want to go find me there, but hey, that's where I'm at. So yeah, otherwise, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. And I will say, like, I personally, I love the amount of your culture that you put into two, and I learn something every time we play, and I love it so much. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate that a lot. Jesus. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Hi, Emma.
Hi. Is everybody okay? We're okay. I'm Emma. I'm the acting CEO of WebDM. So you're here with our brand. Please follow all the people who are here, and you can follow me if you like pictures of latkes, because that's all it's gonna be for the next 6 days.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I'm a fan of latkes. I've made about 100 already, and it's not gonna stop. Yeah, that's all I got. I adore this game every single time I play. Thank you very much.
Thank you for playing. And I'm Gel. I want a latke. All right, moving on. Sharang, hello.
So I'm Sharang. I'm a game designer, writer, and artist. That was really fun. I really like when combat has other things you can do in it. So that when you mentioned like, oh, the body's still here, I'm like, wait a minute. That I find that to be really, really fun. It's also really fun to use your spells in like interesting ways. So like mind reading the ghost to get its memories, burning the body. That's always so fun. So I really appreciated that session a lot. So I'm Shar. You can find me at Sharang Biswas, that same spelling, on Twitter. I'm currently a game artist in residence with the education department at the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, New York. And I'm running a series through the museum called Gameplay, where I'm running introductory role-playing game sessions with folks. Do check that out. Even if you can't sign up, do check it out, because it's actually really cool that a major fine arts museum is backing this thing of tabletop role-playing games and recognizing and furthering role-playing games as an art form. And I'm trying to do a mix of like various different kinds of games. So do check that out. If you sign up, I might see you there. If you don't, check it out, tell people about it, and support the museum, because they're doing really good stuff working with local indie game people. So check that out.
Rules. Oh, thank you so much. Jim, hello.
Yes, hi. I am Jim Davis, co-host of WebDM and creative director. I deliberately made a character who would be terrible at a dungeon. He can't see, he hates confined spaces, can't swim, lots of water underground. Just because I wanted someone interesting to play in an underground fight, and I'm glad so glad that we're going into some haunted catacombs because of that. So having a great time. Love gaming with you guys. Love that you guys out there are enjoying the game. I hope you get a lot out of it. And come check us out over at WebDM. We're all over the place.
Well, thank you so much, Jim. And can we have a shout out for Liam's dog, please? We love dogs.
Look at that, Pops.
She's perfect.
She is perfect. All right. As for me, I am Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer who does video games. I do art streams and I do tabletop RPGs. I can be found all over the internet at Susanna Grace, spelled like that down there with one N in it. Because otherwise, a sweet American lady gets very confused when tweets for me go to her. I am also the media and marketing coordinator of Black Cats Gaming, who are a small independent publisher who have just released a spy game, which is a 5e powered game of international espionage and action. And I think that is it for me and from us for tonight. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time, everyone. Take care.
Woo!